Security is mostly a superstition. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Helen Keller. Helen Keller was a well-known political activist, author, and public speaker who was also the first deaf and blind person to earn a Bachelor's of Art degree. After struggling to overcome the many setbacks in her life, she used those experiences as fuel for herself to push others and her own life forward to being the best that they could absolutely be. She set an example that anyone can be proud to follow. Security is something that everyone always talks about wanting, needing, or having, but it's also something that very few actually have. It's an illusion. It's not necessarily reality. How much security do you have as an employee working for someone else? Just as little as you do working for yourself. Less even in many cases, because you have very little control over the direction someone else's business is going to take. If you work for someone else, you're simply trading your time for their money. But they can decide to fire you for almost any reason at any time, and your security is now gone. The employer could also make poor decisions and go out of business, leaving you with no job, and now your security is still gone. You could be fairly stable, but living paycheck to paycheck. Get into a car accident that was no fault of your own, leaving you without income, and again, goodbye to your security. However, if you take the time to take a little more control over your own day-to-day life, turning it from a blindly followed path along someone else's highway into an adventure of your own choosing, you can still lose your security, but you will also have full control over the path you take. If you're working for someone else and their business thrives, you might get a 3% or even a little bit more raise every year. But if you own the business and it thrives, you get to keep the lion's share. You also get to sell it, take your money, and move on to other adventures, while those you had previously employed keep their quote-unquote secure job and keep trading time for money. To me, Helen is saying that security, beyond keeping your basic needs met, should rarely be the overarching reason that we choose to do anything. If you shoot for an adventure, you have the same risks as anyone else who's shooting for security, but you have far greater chances at fully reaping the rewards that come from taking such risks. And let's face it, we're all taking risks every single day. How do I plan to apply Helen's words towards my own goals for the future? I quit my job last December, after saving up enough that I can live a basic life for a year, so that I could focus on pursuing my goals. I've always been a decent employee, and by that I mean I was very good at the job that I had, but I was never happy or motivated to go beyond the job that I was being paid for, because it didn't matter if I was the best at any place I've ever worked, outside of being in the military, because without certain social standing or education combined with job experiences, you were never going to be anything more than you were. You were never going to get paid more for working harder. You could be the absolute best person on a factory line, putting out twice as many widgets per hour as the next guy down the line doing the exact same job as you, and in most cases it's not going to matter. You might make more money for the company, but that's not going to equate to more money in my own pocket. I got tired of buying into the various HR and management promises that never really materialized. I got tired of being told that if I worked hard, the sky was the limit, and then breaking my back to try and get to that limit, only to break my skull on a glass ceiling. I want to be secure, but I don't need security. It's scary sometimes, especially late at night, thinking about leaving a decent job to go pursue things that really matter to me, but the thing is, I can find another job if I need to. But I would rather take the same risks and shoot for the rewards being all mine and directly proportional to the amount of work that I'm putting in every single day than to keep killing myself building someone else's dream. Now, every morning when I get up, I get excited at the thought of what I'm going to accomplish today. And I never had that working for someone else. Sure, I could have tried to force myself to fit into the employee mold and tried to make it more bearable, or bearable enough that it stopped bothering me, but why? I like this risk. I like this feeling of sink or swim, because it's out in the open. It's not hidden behind the facade of security that being employed by someone else actually provides. And while I'm confident that it might be a hard journey, I know and have confidence in myself enough to know that I can figure it out. I'm honest enough to know that I may need to seek and accept help from other people, and I'm humble enough to share my journey so that when I look back even just 1 year from now, I can think to myself, man, that was hard as hell. But one hell of a ride, too. I wonder what I can do in the next 12 months. What do you think Helen's words mean? Do you agree with my take on her words, or do you find other messages in such a simple line that call out to you, pushing you to be better? How will you apply the message in her quote today and for the rest of your days moving forward? Leave your answers down below so we can all share, encourage, and push each other to be more together than we could have been by ourselves. If you find this video helpful and would like to keep seeing more like it in the future, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, as it does help us grow. We are also putting out a new video every single morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and if you'd like to be reminded to tune in for your daily dose of getting your mind right in order to better attack the day, make sure you hit that little bell icon that turns on notifications, as this does let YouTube know that you want to be informed every time a new video drops. Thanks for listening, folks, and get out there, attack your day.